Welcome back to our fourth mini watercolor out of 100. Time for our inspiration dice. Okay, we have river, sea, desert, mountains. We have a landscape kind of theme. Ooh, we have a river. Okay, I sketched out our free reference photo. I picked a snowy scene for the river, so a lot of this is going to have white. So you can see I kind of sketched in where the dark water is going to go. I left room for that white rock. I'm going to leave these piles of snow white. I did sketch in where I'm going to add darkness for the shadows over here. I'm also going to put some light shadows in under here to give it that dimension of a ledge. And then I'm going to give kind of a soft glow in the sky, and then I'll go through and paint all of these trees, and then add in some white, either acrylic paint or pen. I haven't decided yet, but we'll get there. I'm going to start with the water. In the reference photo, it's very dark and kind of brownish, but I'm going to make it more of a bluish, just because that's what I like. I'm going to go through and start adding in this water right up against the lens. I'm adding in some darker darks right along the shore. You can see in the reference photo that's where there's a lot more of those darker shadows. That's going to give dimension to the painting as well. I'm going to let that dry, but I'm going to keep going in and doing some of these shadows over here. For that, I'm going to use a little bit more of a purpley blue color, still very, very dark. So now I'm going to go through and add a wet layer in the sky, and then I'm going to touch that with some light yellows to kind of give some of that glowing effect into the sky. So this is going to be wet on wet. I'm just going to take my wet brush and paint in the sky. Just want enough water for the paint to be able to move. You don't want to saturate your whole entire painting. This was not the best brush to choose either, but we're here, so we're using it. Okay. This isn't going to take much color. We're just barely adding a little hint. So I'm going to do some yellow here in the middle. And let that bloom a little bit, but I'm also going to do some diluted orange to kind of give some more of that sunset effect. So I'm just dabbing it onto the wet paper and letting it spread as it wants to. And watercolors do dry lighter, so we're in good shape here. Hitting the corners with just a little bit of blue. They looked a little plain to me. Okay, so now the sky is done. The river shadows are in. I'm going to let this dry before we continue on with more layers. Okay, I switched to a much finer brush, and I'm going to go in and start adding in some of these very, very gentle shadows that give the snow its shape, as well as some of these darker ones by the shore. I'm going to stick with using blues and purples for this. I feel like it gives a really nice effect on snow. go through with my white Posca pen and add some snow highlights onto the trees.